folks, JD here, and back in May we looked at the top 5 quadcopter drones of 2017 so far. Now I just want to bring that a bit more up to date. Today is a horrible day, I can't fly outside, so unfortunately there's not going to be a flight video, but there is going to still be a video. So I just want to bring the May video of the top 5 2017 quadcopters up to date a little bit more by adding an extra 4 quadcopters into the mix. So let's clear away 3 of them and let's have a little look at one of them at a time. First one starting off is with this Syma. So this is a lovely little quadcopter. As you can see, it is a folding quadcopter. Looks a lot like the Skytech that we looked at in its form and function. Now it's pretty large, as you can see. It's quite a large copter. It flies remarkably well. Little camera on the front, which you can alter the perspective of the camera slightly. Automatic takeoff, automatic landing, altitude hold. Pretty standard things you see with quadcopters nowadays. I've brought this one into the mix because I think I haven't spoken enough about this quadcopter, and I think I should have. This quadcopter is very, very good. It's a brilliant quadcopter to start off on, and it's also a brilliant quadcopter if you are very much used to the quadcopters out there as well, if you've been piloting them for a while. So this is number 1. This is the little Syma, and I gotta be honest, it's a cracking little thing. Now a couple of flaws with it. The landing sprigs aren't really great, but they do fulfill a function. They do stop the quadcopter from damaging the underneath and or the battery here. Battery life is pretty good. All in all, this is another pick for the top quadcopters of 2017 again so far. So this is number 1, the Syma. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is this little guy. This is the Kaideng Alpha. Now watch this. Look at that. Little button underneath, there's the on and off button. If you push it in and hold it for 2 seconds, all of these propeller arms just pop open. So it's an egg-shaped device, and it flies remarkably well. I will say that it is probably the best flying quadcopter that I have flown in easily the last 4 or 5 months. It flies remarkably well. It's incredibly true. Altitude hold is spectacular. Now, I've flown this on a very still day and on a day where there has been minimal breeze of about 2 to 3 miles an hour, and again this guy didn't struggle. It just flew, and it flew very, very well. Now you've got its hardened case, which obviously once all these propellers are open does feel a little bit fragile, but you'd be quite surprised in the fact that it isn't fragile. This has dropped out of the air a couple of times with me on a couple of other solo flights, and I found that it hasn't cracked, and it has just worked really, really well thereafter. The battery is probably the most surprising thing about it. I love doing that. The battery is right inside here, right in the back. You could probably just make out a slightly discoloured thing right in the background. Well, that's the battery. And the battery itself holds a charge of about 9 to 10 minutes, which is incredible considering it is half the size and probably half the capacity of most of the larger quadcopters that we struggle to see 9 minutes with. But its saving grace is the fact that this isn't the camera model. So you are going to have a lot more flight time because you're not draining the battery with anything like a video. So this is number 2, this is the Kaideng Alpha. Let's look at number 3. Number 3, we've got the Tozo Q2020. Again, a cracking little copter. It's a little bit slow, it's quite loud, but I think I'm going to add this just simply because I've never heard of this company. I've never had a quadcopter by this company, and to be honest with you, I was almost about to write them off, and I thought, no, do you know what, it's cheap, it's cheerful, I'm going to buy it, let's give it a try and let's see exactly what we get out of it. And what we got out of it was actually quite a fun flight. Now, turning is pretty good, it is quite loud, altitude holds very, very well. This is the no camera version, so we had a good 10 minutes of battery out of this, if memory serves. This was the quadcopter that we looked at last week. Obviously there are going to be the flight tests for all of these quadcopters are going to be in the description as well, should you want to check them out. Now this little guy, I think it's very deserving of being in one of the lists of the top quadcopters, I think, just simply because of the fact that he took me by surprise. I didn't expect this to fly very well. He flew quite well. Altitude hold worked very well on him. Again, I said he's very loud, which it is a detractor. But he is styled very, very well, quite uniquely. I'm liking all these curves and all the different sort of stylings of the quadcopter and of the quadcopter blades as well, and of the propeller guards rather. The two little fins at the back of the quadcopter, if I can angle this towards the light, the two little fins here really does. You don't notice this quadcopter pulling back or pulling forward. It tends to stay pretty true without any trim, and that is because of these fins and the air passing straight across the quadcopter here, holding it nice and steady, nice and true. So this is number 3 in the top 5 revisited 2017 quadcopters. Okay, let's look at number 4. This is number 4. Now, I know what you're saying. This is a strange one. It is. This comes in a pack of 2. This one and a grey one, and they are the Air Wars, almost like Robot Wars but with quadcopters that you can fly yourselves. You can attach little plastic weapons on here. But what I thought I would do, I wouldn't talk about them in the Air Wars capacity. I would talk about them just in a singular quadcopter capacity. I found this to be very, very good. It flew extremely well, which they both do. But what I did find is on their own, they are incredibly good quadcopters. Now, a nice little dome arch to this, 4 propellers obviously, very, very lightweight, but again, extremely sturdy. The base and the shell is extremely hardy. Therefore, as it's gliding, it does just literally glide through the air. It bounces off surfaces if you are to hit it on the floor, which I've done maybe once or twice. And it is a remarkable quadcopter. It turns really well. It's pretty silent. All in all, I was in total admiration of this quadcopter as I was flying it. I thought it was very good and deserves, I think, to be for us to look at it again, and we will be. I'll be looking at this again in the not too distant future. So this again is going to make it into the revised list of the 2017 quadcopters. So this is number 4. Let's look at them all now. So we've got the Syma, we've got the Tozo, and we've got the little Kaideng Alpha. Now, these are going to add to the list of 2017 quadcopters. So at the end of the year, I'm going to be doing another video with all of the 2017 best quadcopters that I've flown. And I want to see what you think as well. Have you bought these? Do you agree with my findings? Did they not work for you? Did something go wrong? Just let us know. It would be very interesting just to find out. Let us know in the comments. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.